Hello guys, welcome back, and this is our video number 8 in Java series. So in this video we will talk all about arrays and enhanced for loop in Java. Okay, since we have a basic idea about classes and objects, let's talk about arrays. So when you're programming, suppose you have several variables with same data type. Let's say we have some values like 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now all these are in integer data type. So to use them, we can declare int values for each one. So we give them names p, q, r, s. Then if you have to print some value, you can go ahead and print that specific one. Let's say printing q. So we say system.out.println q and it will do the job. But what if you have thousands of variables? That's a lot of data, right? And you don't want them to be declared one by one. So if those variables are made for the same purpose, we don't want to call these one by one when needed. Instead, what we do is we put these integers together to make one big variable and then call out them when we need. So this doesn't have to be always integers. This can be done with other data types too, but they must use the same data type. So an array is a collection of variables of the same type. So there are three types of arrays: one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and jagged array. So to understand arrays, take an example of a school classroom. So in the classroom, take a row of students. Now each student is sitting one after another in a line. Now to identify each student, we give them an index. In arrays, we start indexing by 0. So the first student is in the position of 0 in the array. Second student is in the position of 1. And third student in 2 and keeps going on like that. So this is called one-dimensional array. So we have one line and we have multiple variables in that line. So now if we have to take one from this array, what we do is we call out them by index. Let's try them in our IDE. So let me create a new class. So now in our main method, I will create an array of integers and then the name of your array. Let's say nums for numbers. Then in Java, we have to assign this with new keyword, then again int array. And inside this square brackets, we have to specify the size of the array. I will give 5. So this means this array has 5 integers. So in Java, as soon as we are done creating this array, Java will give each element a default value of 0. So if I print a value like this, and here I will say 3. So it will print the fourth element of the array. Now we get 0. So that's because Java will give 0 as their default value to each of these integers. So whatever the index you print, it will give 0. So to assign values to these, I can simply type nums 0 equals 2, let's say, nums 1 equals 4, and like that. Now if we print this, we get 6 because we are printing second index, which means this one. We get it as 6. Now if we try to print something like 5. Now this array, it has only 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are no values for this. So if we print this, it will give array index out of bounds error. And if you want, instead of assigning each value separately, we can assign int values in here like this. So this is the same as this one. So I can delete this, and now if we print this, we still get 6 because this one is 6. So instead of printing one value here, suppose you have to print each and every value. So in that case, we can do println method in a loop. In this case, we will use for loop and initialize a value to 0. Then use this size as the condition here. So there are 5. So I have to iterate 5 times. Now it starts from 0, therefore it will iterate 5 times. And then the increment. And then here we have to pass the integer I. Also, instead of printing a line, I will delete this and I will print it in one line. And of course, I will add a space here. This is concatenation and we talked about this. So I added a space and then the number. So if we print this, we get values. So what happens here is, at the start of the loop, initializing value is 0. So in here, it will print the 0th index of nums array, which is 2. Then it will be incremented by 1. So I will have the value of 1, and then this will print nums first index, which means this one, 4th one. So just like that, it will go 5 times and it will finish when the I value is 5. When we are printing values of an array, we can also use enhance for loop. So we will discuss about that shortly. So this is one-dimensional array. Now there's also two-dimensional arrays in Java. If we jump back to our example of classroom, instead of one row of students, there can be another row behind them with same number of students, and behind them another row. So like that, there can be multiple rows. So this row is an array, and there are several arrays inside of this array. Now this concept is called two-dimensional array. So the whole classroom can be defined as a two-dimensional array. Now the question is, what are the index numbers? So if this each is an array, their indexes should be as normal one-dimensional array, starting from 0. Now here, it is an array of arrays. So we give indexes for each array. Then it can be seen as rows and columns like a table. Now if we want to call the student in third row, second column, means this one. Index is 2, 1. Because array starts at index 0. Therefore when we go to the third row, it means index is 2. And if we go to the second column, it means the index is 1. So this is the logic behind two-dimensional array. Let's take a look at this with our IDE. Now here, suppose I have this one-dimensional array as array 1. I will have only 3 values to make this simpler. And I will add another array, array 2, and another array of array 3. Now I will delete this and I will declare two-dimensional array like this. And I will give it a name, array of arrays. Now inside of this array, I will put these arrays I created. So in the first array is the array 1, and then comma and array 2, and comma and array 3. So here this array is an array of arrays. So inside of these arrays there are 3 more arrays. Now instead of having here arrays name, I will directly copy this and place it here. And as the second one, I will do the same. And for the third one, I will do the same. Now I will take this to a new line just to make a proper format. And now we have it. We have an array of arrays. I will clear these. Now to print one of these values, I will say system.out.println and then call the array of arrays. Then declare the index. So let's say we have to print 7. So this one is first index. This array is in the first index. So I will put this as comment. So this is in 0 index. This array is in 0 index, and this one is first index, and this one second index. So to print this one, first I have to go to this array. So I will say first here. Now I am inside of this array. Now inside of this array, I have to print the second value. That means index number 1. And now if we print this, we get 7. So that is very simple. Now if we want to print all these values, how can we do that? To do that, we use nested for loops. Means we are using a for loop inside of another for loop. First, we have to use a for loop to iterate through these arrays. So that is what first loop must do. I will declare for loop int 0 and the size is 3. And inside of this array, I will declare another. Now these arrays are also in the size of 3, so I will say 3 and j plus plus. So in this loop, we are iterating through these arrays, and this loop we are iterating through inside of these values. Now to print the value, so here we have to print the index of the array, so it will be I, and this one will be j because we are iterating through these values by j. I will remove here print line to give a proper formatting, and I will add a new line here, and I will remove this one. I added a new line because as soon as we are done with one array, we have to go to a new line. That is just to give a nice formed way. And if we print this, now we get 246, 172 and 602. So we get the two-dimensional array. So this is two-dimensional array. Okay, so that is all we are going to talk about in this video. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like this video, hit the like button and please consider subscribing us, and see you soon with our next video.